Click the link in the description to get the podcast pack for this episode. Inside, you will find a transcript with difficult and high-level vocabulary highlighted, questions to test your listening skills, and also speaking and writing exercises. Onto the show. Welcome back to another episode. My name is Sam.
My name is Anna.
And today we're going to be continuing a conversation about jobs and work with a slightly different angle, and we're going to be talking about things related to work and jobs. And the first topic we are going to talk about is working from home, as this is a pretty new thing to happen in the world. I guess COVID was when people really started working from home, and I guess that changed work forever, didn't it, Anna? Or were many people working from home before COVID? I don't really know many people who work from home before COVID. They'd always go into an office, right?
Yeah, most people, I think that, like people who are self-employed, obviously, most of them work from home, or some maybe rent an office, but overall, many work from home. But most people who work in companies, it's used to be a kind of default to go to your work and work together in one place. And yeah, COVID has changed it forever.
Yeah. I guess I was working from home pre-COVID. No, actually, I wasn't. I started teaching English online during COVID. But you've had your business longer than I've been teaching online, so I'm guessing you were working from home.
I have been working from home before COVID.
Okay.
Before it was before it was trendy. This is how people say it.
You're a trendsetter. Did you ever think about not working from home and hiring like an office or like a space, or did you ever go to like co-working places, like a coffee shop?
I had I'm not saying that this thought has never crossed my mind, but it comes with some extra costs and also like wasting some time to get there. So yeah, I just decided to rather have like, a room that is mostly like for this purpose of working, and I'm just trying to adapt. It doesn't work perfectly well always, but I think that it's good enough. And it also gives a lot of freedom in terms of like having access to your own kitchen, and basically being at home and being able, I don't know, to change clothes, for example, if it turns out that it's warmer or colder this day. So yeah, I think that I am just too, what's the word, used to discomfort to give up on it.
Yeah, it is way more comfortable, way more convenient. I rented an office for a while. When I first moved in with my girlfriend, we were still living with her sister, and her sister's boyfriend would often be here, and there wasn't really much space for me to work from home, and I had to like work in like next to the stairs upstairs because there's like a loft room or an attic room. So yeah, I was kind of just at the bottom of the stairs, and I didn't really like enjoy working there, so I started renting an office. And it was really exciting when I first moved in there, because I thought, I've got my own business, I'm in an office, I've got this beautiful view of Salford Quays, which is this kind of area in Salford in Greater Manchester where there's loads of water. And I felt like, wow, I feel like a really cool business guy because I have my own office, and I felt like really successful just because I have an office, which is kind of cool. But it was £560 a month. And that's quite a lot of money, isn't it?
It's a lot.
Yeah. And so I was just like, after a while, I thought of it. If someone offered me, would you work from home to earn £6,000 more a year? You'd kind of really obviously say yes. So when I had the opportunity to stop working in the office, I did come back to working from home. But it was such a nuisance. It was like a 30-minute walk away, which is fine. I sit down most of the day, so I enjoy walking. But that 30 minutes, kind of, an hour every day of walking, it eats into your day. I had to take in breakfast every day because I would wake up and like go. I had to think about my lunch every day as well, and if it rained, the bus route was really bad to to my office, so
Mm.
it was really inconvenient to get there. So um, yeah, it was kind of annoying, but it was it was kind of exciting when I first got there.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that it feels probably it's easier to focus if you have like a place that is specifically only for working. There are no distractions from your home, so it must make things and working easier, or at least getting around work.
Well, yeah,
But yeah, it
because
comes with a cost.
yeah, it was nice because I wouldn't take my laptop home with me and I'd leave it in the office. So I have just this designated space to do work. And while I'm at home now, I work from home and I live at home and I eat at home and I cook at home and I relax at home. I sleep at home. So I do all these other activities at home and I have like my laptop and I can constantly go into the community and kind of like start doing work and like check up on things and reply to people. So that was the big benefit is there was such a big division between work and
Mhm.
home for me, which has completely like evaporated since I've started working from home because even though I don't really take my laptop out of this room to do work, I occasionally do go downstairs to with my laptop and do work and stuff. And sometimes I lie in bed with my laptop, and I don't think
Oh
that's good, is it?
no, don't do this.
Yeah. So that is one of the big benefits of working in an office is you have that division between work and home. Do you have the same problem as me?
I don't take my work to my bed, literally. I don't take my computer to my bed. It always stays either on this desk, or I take it to my clients. But I don't carry it around with me in the house. This is good. I have never had this problem. Like whenever, maybe it's because it's like plugged in here, and I would have to unplug it. Also, like there's this cable to internet, and it doesn't get in this easily. Like you have to push some like little button to get it in. So yeah, it's a little bit inconvenient. So it's easier for me to leave it here, fortunately. But the the problem with distractions is real, and with having all your life just on the other side of the room, or of the door, uh, it makes it more difficult. Like Zizu, my cat, sometimes he comes and meows on the other side of the door. He wants to get in. There's a blanket behind me for him, so sometimes he lays there,
No.
which is cute. Sometimes it's not enough and he wants attention, and he walks in front of me one side to the other, and I pops my nose with his tail, which is not that much fun when you try to focus on your work.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a welcome distraction though. Like, my dog distra- distracts me, but because he's so cute, I'm okay with it.
Yeah,
But
but he doesn't walk like over your face, probably, right? When you're
no, he doesn't
working.
walk on my keyboard either. He just, yeah. Well, to be honest, Alfie just sleeps most of the day, so he's sleeping right now. So, he's actually not too bad at distracting me, but sometimes the people will knock at the door, things will happen, so
Mhm.
there are distractions, but it's just so much more convenient. But I do find myself not having enough kind of like time away from work, or not having that division between work and rest. And because I'm self-employed and so are you, there's always more to do. Like the job is never finished, if you know what I mean.
It's exactly.
So like if I was employed, I would just shut my laptop and be like, goodbye, no one's going to contact me. And I think I'd be fine with that. But because I have my own business and community to
You
run,
care. You
there's
care.
like
So,
if I wrote a to-do list of things that I could do for my business and also the community and YouTube and things like this, I could probably write 50 things. So when that is always kind of like ongoing, it's difficult to turn off really. So
can
that is
be
that is the that's
overwhelming
one of the
also, right?
disadvantages of working from home. But I
Hmm.
don't know, maybe I need to get better at doing what you do and leave my laptop here. I only do work at this desk, and when I'm away from the desk, I don't do anything related to work. But maybe that's the
Mm.
strategy.
Yeah, highly recommend.
Yeah, I actually heard someone recommend doing this for phones as well. So if people want to go on their phone less, instead of carrying it around the house all day, every day,
Mm-hmm.
you just leave it kind of like plugged in, or kind of attached to a plug. You can turn the plug off. Well, in Europe you can't, but in the UK we have on and off switches on our plugs. But you can leave it plugged in, turned off, and then it just kind of like stays there, like a kettle or a microwave or a TV, where it's completely stationary. So you have to be sitting in that spot or standing in that spot to use it, which I thought was actually a pretty cool idea to for people who use their phone too much to try and reduce their screen time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, phone is a big one. And I actually started to put my phone constantly into how is it called? Do not disturb mode. And it makes me miss some calls. So I have to call back if I don't react like immediately, because I don't know, it's kinda like it's quiet. My watch still vibrates, so I still get this notification that someone is calling, but it's easier to ignore or kind of skip when or just put it in time later when it's in this mode.
Yeah. Yeah, I get distracted by my phone. Mostly the internet, really, because I don't have someone watching over my shoulder like a boss. I go
Mm,
on YouTube and I'll start watching a video and then I'll listen to a podcast and I'm doing things and I'll want to finish the podcast. So I tidy the house a little bit longer than I on my
mm-hmm.
lunch break and I won't go back to work. Then I'll get into some cleaning and some tidying and then yeah, and get distracted by that. And the internet is the biggest distraction for me, which I guess if I didn't work from home this could still be a problem, but if I worked in an office there's that kind of you don't want other people to see your screen and you're checking football scores, for example. So when you're at home
Mm-hmm.
by yourself, there's no one to look over your shoulder and see what you're doing.
um I actually installed and I have a new phone. I well since over half of a year, but still it's new. And on
Interesting.
this phone, the app the app to like control your screen time and the apps and like the usage of different apps works. So
Hmm.
this app. It's called Screen Zen,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to use it on my previous phone, and it broke and it stopped working. Um, but since I have this phone, I could install it again, and it works, and it's amazing because it asks me every time the question that I said, which is it the right time or something along these lines? And many times it's not the right moment for doing whatever I tried to do, but it makes you second guess your like instincts basically at some point, grabbing your phone and going to some websites or some apps. It's kind of automatic.
Yeah.
How do they say it?
Automatic.
Automatic.
Yeah. I had an app on my phone which is similar, and it kind of asks you. No, I think the app I used it. You can set like a timer. So if you opened an app, there's like a 60-second timer that you have to like wait and watch before the app opens. And
Mm-hmm.
usually, if it's like 60 seconds, you're just like, nah, I don't want to. I don't want to wait that long to open Instagram. So you go off it and you realize, what am I actually doing here? I don't actually want to go on said app. I'm just trying to distract myself. So yeah, phone is a big distraction. Have you got any other distractions at home?
Or the cat, like some house chores. uh, I tend to follow my impulses sometimes. So I got this idea. It's time to clean the windows, especially if I have something like urgent to do in my work and that I don't feel like doing it. Maybe something like a little bit more boring. So then all the house chores that could wait a little bit longer, they feel so attractive. So
I think tidying and cleaning is the best form of procrastination, isn't it? You
it's
just realize how untidy and dirty things are when you need to do something very important, and you're like, oh well, I've got to
exactly.
do this now.
exactly. That's
Hmm.
it. And it kind of feels still productive and like excused.
Yeah,
And you had to do it anyway, right? So
exactly. It's got to be done at some stage. So why not now?
that's it.
Are
That's it.
you one of those people that watches TV or a film while working? Because I've seen, I think a lot of people probably work. I said I occasionally take my laptop into, well, on top of the bed, but a lot of people work in their living rooms, like on their sofa, and they'll just tap away, and then they'll have like TV on in the background.
I
Do you ever do
can't.
this?
I can't do anything with TV on.
I can't do anything where people are speaking. Even if I'm doing anything that involves me reading or writing, I can't have any audio which is people
Mm-hmm.
speaking or music where there are lyrics. I just can't do two things at once. I don't know how some people do that.
Mm, for me, if I am to focus on anything specific, like if I am talking with someone and there is like music in the background, even music that I really like and enjoy, I don't mind. But if I had to work or do anything productive and there was TV on, and whatever was going on the screen, and with the sound especially, I would just stop midway. But as a child, I was very TV deprived because we didn't have TV for a very long time. And I think that it's a common occurrence for people who didn't have TV as kids. That it's much more engaging then. It feels much more. It grabs your attention so much stronger. Also, my family,
Mm.
even when they bought TV, this device, we never had it like on constantly. It was on only for like watching a specific movie that was we wanted to watch, but not all the time. So and I would just pass the room with this TV. I would stop when it was on and it was some scene that would like seem interesting. I would stop. I would watch for a couple of minutes until uh, the break, like for the advertisements. And yeah, so currently I'm not able to work or do anything productive when there is TV on, because for my mind I think that it's clear signal that it's on, so I want to watch it, or I want to turn it off if I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, got it. So before this call, you mentioned that to me that you said that you are bad at working from home. What does
Mm,
that mean?
it means that I really procrastinate a lot, and especially if the deadline is not anywhere close, or if I am like waiting for some response from someone, I kind of lose the grip of my work and start like doing something else. Basically, some of my hobbies maybe, or like there are different stuff. Sometimes when I don't have this very specific and strict schedule of work. I don't work like in exactly the same hours each day, for example. And sometimes when I have to um, like catch up with time a little and with my work, sometimes I work during weekends, so then I feel like excused from working sometimes during the week, or sometimes there are like some other things to do, some important things to do during the week. So it's very irregular on my side, and I think that I need more structure, and it's a constant battle with time, and with things that you know how to put it. Mm, like I really enjoy my work. I really like it. But there are still some parts that are more thrilling and more enjoyable, and there are parts that are a little bit boring. Uh, like preparing some like technical aspects, for example. Sometimes it's counting these, like making these lists of um, of plants, for example, it's not that exciting really. So I sometimes really have to make myself do it, and sometimes I don't really feel like doing it, and then I procrastinate if I have too much time, like as much time as I give myself, or as much time as I have to the moment when I promised someone that I'm going to deliver this project. I'm going to use all this time, and I probably will have to hurry up by the end to really be on time with it.
I see. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I now when you were thinking, I was thinking slightly a little bit about my own working from home schedule, and I'm the same. I don't really have a fixed schedule. I kind of like just start work when I want to start work, and then like today, I got back from I took Alfie to the vets, and I came home, and we've changed supermarket that we'll get food delivered from. So I spent like an hour on the website just looking at the different options. So I was just like, this is the time where I'm supposed to be working. But yeah, I got distracted by that. And then probably later on, I'll probably have to work into the evening because I haven't done the things that I need to do. So yeah, I probably need to get a little bit better with my
Mm,
structure as well. But what about feeling lonely? Because some people don't like working from home because they don't speak to anyone all day. They wake up, might speak to whoever they live with, but then they're in their home all day, don't see anyone, don't speak to anyone, don't leave the house maybe, and this can make people not feel good.
mm. I don't feel that I have this problem, but probably because I am like in very regular contact with my family and my friends. So we meet usually our friends, our family on weekends. Me and my husband. I also don't live alone. I live with my husband, so we talk obviously. But during the week, like I have a couple of friends who I am in contact mostly on like via phone, and we call each other. And probably I call someone either every day or every other day. Some of
Wow.
my friends of or my siblings, just to like stay in touch and be aware of what's going on in their life, or they call me. But we talk. So I don't really I don't really have this problem because I still have this interaction, and I feel like with people who I, I am introverted myself, and I don't really I like meeting new people, but it's not like a real need for me. I need to stay in touch with people who really matter to me. So these interactions are just enough for me as much as I need. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it looks like now. Obviously, I would prefer to meet them in person more, but
Yeah.
you can't have everything. And like with the time you would have to spend commuting, sometimes it's not convenient really. And calling someone, it's so much more convenient.
Yeah. I think it's really important to leave the house and also kind of do, well, obviously do hygiene stuff, but showering, putting on relatively smart clothes. And when I say that, just not pajamas. And I think that's what the office gives people, is that it gives you structure in your life. It gives you have to look after yourself. You've got to have you can't just be like super lazy the entire time. You have to
Mm,
wake up at a certain time. You have to shower at a certain time. You have to eat before you go into the office. You have to look presentable. You go outside. You are in sunlight. You speak to people. I think this is pretty good for people. And I think when people work from home, especially if they don't speak to that many people in their job. So, for example, my job, I speak to people all day, basically. Not as much as I used to, but before I was just on calls all day. Luckily, I don't do as many calls, but I still do loads of calls and group calls.
so you
So
weren't socially deprived.
oh no, I was socially exhausted. So yeah, that was the opposite for me. But which is nice. And I have a dog, which is great because it means I have to go outside the house at least twice a day, and have some sunlight and a bit of exercise. And I'll probably speak to a dog walker. And I like exercise most days, so that gets me out of the house as well. But I think that is enough structure for me to kind of not feel too sad working from home. And I think I can imagine some people, if they work from home 5 days a week, they wake up, they need to start work at 9 o'clock, and their alarm goes off at 8:55, and they roll out of bed, they open their laptop, they kind of like have it in bed, and they go on their phone and they're on Instagram, and they don't shower until maybe the evening, and they never really have any structure in their days, which might work for some people. But I just feel like having that structure is good for people, and that's what the office does give people, or not working from home. But you can replicate it at home as well. You just need a job where you speak to people. Some people have jobs where they're just on spreadsheets all day, sending emails all day, and they don't speak to anyone. And I can imagine that being really lonely if you work from home by yourself, and you're not on calls and stuff. Then yeah, I can imagine it being really sad and lonely. But someone's going to do it.
Yeah, I can't really imagine. Like, to me, it's something I couldn't really walk around during the whole day, unless I'm ill, like really ill. Then I would stay in bed anyway. But I can't imagine not dressing, like not changing your clothes to your regular daily clothes in the morning once you get up. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I work in pajamas sometimes, so I'm a bit guilty. I've even done English classes with my pajama bottoms on. So
Really, you are
yeah,
one of these people, like with shirt, all
yeah,
elegant
exactly.
and nice and tidy,
a suit with a
and
tie,
puff.
pajama bottoms. Yeah. No,
Oh,
I don't
really?
wear suits, but I have worn pajama bottoms before when doing an English class, which
So
did.
all of your students wonder
Yeah.
that you wear pajamas.
None of them know. Yeah, exactly. It does feel nice putting on some nice clothes, though, doesn't it? Maybe it's a
Absolutely.
bit different for women because there's more pressure on them to look a certain way while working, or like I think just women's clothing generally might be more uncomfortable than men's, especially footwear.
Especially if
I'm thinking
someone
high
is
heels.
expected to wear heels.
I don't know how women wear high heels every day to work. Not fun.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it is quite nice putting on nice clothes and leaving the house and wearing pajamas all day. I just don't think it's going to make you feel good about yourself. You might be more comfortable, but I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it too much.
I don't know. Like I feel like to me, like bed and pajamas and this stuff is like supposed to be very like clean and like tidy, and I don't know, like imagine like on my couch, for example, I can go to the city and sit. Maybe I could sit in train,
On the
on a
settee,
tram
did you say?
to the city,
Oh,
and
in the
like
city, yeah.
sit in
Yeah.
like some public spaces, basically go somewhere. Then I go home, I sit on like on these I sit on the couch or I sit on the chairs, and I just feel like I am carrying some like tiny particles
Yeah.
on me from those public spaces, and I don't feel like then going there in my pajama, for example, and and then going back to my bed. I don't know.
Are you an inside outside clothes type of person?
Mm,
Where you have clothes that you wear outside
I
and then clothes that you wear inside your house?
I wear like at home. I wear probably, especially like my trousers. I usually wear jeans trousers when I go out most of the time, or some fabric, but it's like more tidy and neat. And I wear more like how are they called, sweatpants,
Yeah. Or in the UK we call them joggers.
joggers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so some
Like
like really
jogging bottoms, but
jogging
we call them
bottoms.
joggers.
Yeah, or maybe shorts, depending on
Okay.
the weather, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
a skirt or a dress at home, but usually more relaxed compared to what I would wear outside.
Yeah. If you had a business Well, you do have a business. If you had a business with employees, would you want them to work from home or come to the office?
Mm, I think it depends on the person. Uh,
Okay.
so I know that some people really struggle with working from home, considering my own experience, for example.
Hmm.
And if mm, I would have to really trust them, I think, to in terms of like making mistakes, for example, or not making mistakes,
Okay.
to 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 have them work from home. Um, I think that's difficult because if you like, for me, I am paid for the delivery, like whatever I make, I produce this project. So it's not how many hours I worked for on it. Like
Yeah.
it's entirely disconnected from the time that I'm spending on it. So there's no way for me to mm, to to trick people to pay me more than whatever. But if I had an employee, if they were also paid for the results, I don't mind how like how they work if there are no mistakes.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. I think if you're new in a company or even an industry, I think going into the office as much as possible is probably a good idea because then you're
Hmm.
physically surrounded by people who are more experienced than you and you'll learn things just through osmosis. So um, I'm not going to explain what
Yeah, it's
osmosis is. But
I
yeah,
know, I know,
okay,
I know
great.
what it is.
Nice. So yeah, if you're around people, you'll just pick up on information and you'll speak to them at lunch and you'll bump into them and you can ask questions really quickly and you don't have to send an email. And I think you'll just learn a lot faster if you go into the
Hmm.
office.
When you
However, I
observe
think,
people
yeah,
working and like how they optimize their like tasks, how they
yep,
how to do things easier, more
yeah,
efficiently.
yeah, and you just meet new people. You just form better relationships with people quicker. Like I've formed loads of great relationships with community members and students over my years of working online. However, I'm sure if we went into a learning academy or if I did in-person classes with groups of people and stuff, I'm sure I'd form a quicker and better relationship with them in person. I think this is generally the case. So yeah, I think if you're new, go to the office as much as possible would be my unsolicited advice. But I don't know if I had my own company, I think I'd want them to come to the office as much as possible. I'd kind of be flexible in the sense that I value working from home. I see what like freedom and flexibility it gives people. So I think like 1 or 2 days working from home would be I'd kind of like think that's acceptable, especially if you do it on like a Monday and a Friday. So your weekend just gets not extended, but there's like a buffer zone on each end of the weekend, which is quite nice. And if you're
Monday is
going
not
away for
so
the
Monday like.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't have to wake up as early and you have to prepare everything, and the Sunday isn't as scary. And if you're going away somewhere on Friday, you can maybe leave a little bit early and all that stuff. So, and cutting out that commute. It also depends on what that commute is like. If someone lives like an hour away, I'm not going
Mm,
to force them to travel 2 hours a day to come to the office, especially if they can do their job from home. So, depends on
mm,
type of work it is. Depends on like smaller companies as well. Like if it's like a small company, I think it'd be better for everyone to be very united and together and on the same page and stuff. If it was a massive company with hundreds of thousands of people, um, I'm sure it helps people come into the office, but I don't think it would be as useful as a smaller team. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I think people just in the same physical space working towards the same goal and it's just better for the progress of achieving said goal. So
mm-hmm.
I think I'd want people to come into the office, but I appreciate that it does help employees working from home and makes their life better in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I think that it's actually proven that, and that there are like these co-working sessions, like for people working remotely. Now, I think that you can join. I have never tried it, but
Mm.
I've been already thinking about it.
You like on a video, it's like a video call and everyone's kind of doing their own work.
Uh, yeah, I've heard of something like this. Also, there are like co-working. platforms where you like kind of I don't know, you are connected with someone. Like you said how long you want to work. Say that it's I don't know, in one go an hour or like 13 minutes, for example. It links you to another person who has the same like the same amount of time to work. So then you kind of meet them and you can say hello and you can say what are you're going to achieve over this time, and you just have your camera on, they have their camera on, and you get this kind of pressure of someone observing you working, and not getting distracted. um, yeah, I've heard that there is some psychological effect of like being in a group or with someone else who's also working, and because we are social creatures, and we copy what like our surroundings do. uh, yeah, it makes it easier to get yourself to work if you struggle to start, for example.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I think that would be too distracting for me, to be honest, like knowing that someone's there and I can communicate with them. So maybe if it's like one other person. I think if it was like one person or a few people that you regularly did this with, that would kind of make sense. But for me anyway, but I think it's like a random person. I'd just be like too curious, like, oh, who are you? Where do you live? What's your job? What are you
Instead of
working on?
working, you
What are
just
you working on now right now? Yeah, so I'd end up making friends with people rather than actually doing the work I needed to. So
maybe you can do both.
yeah, yeah, maybe. But yeah, I think people do that with like YouTube videos, like study with me YouTube videos, or live playlists of like Lo-Fi Girl and things like this, and there's chat and yeah, things like this. But I occasionally watch a YouTube video where it's like focus music or something, and I scroll to the comments, and the first comment is, "You're not supposed to be reading the comments. Get back to work." And I'm like, they got me.
Yes, yes. Or like videos about procrastination and people saying I am procrastinating my work
Yeah,
by watching this video.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, anything else to talk about working from home? Is it? Do you like it? Is it good? Is it? Would you prefer to work in a not working from home, or do you like working from home?
Mm, if I had, for example, a nice place just like really close to my house, for example, like up to 15 minutes of walk, or
Okay.
even half an hour maybe, if it was like really not close, uh, I would I would definitely consider going there to work. And if it wasn't like if it didn't cost much.
Yeah. Especially if you could like
Uh,
walk back during the middle of the day or lunchtime. You could go back
yeah,
for lunch.
exactly. If it was like
Hmm.
if it was close, I would definitely consider it.
What about a shed?
But
Some people have in the UK have like a shed that they work in their garden, or like a garage that they turn into, or like a, I don't know,
uh,
a space in their garden where they turn it into like an office.
oh, I don't know about that. I am afraid I would be too distracted by like different little creatures that
The
walk around.
bumblebees.
Bumblebees. What are these? These fluffy kind of
Hmm.
bees, right?
Yeah, the bees that are kind of like fat bees, like yeah, circular, and they bumble.
Today I picked actually two of them from my driveway, like in front of my garage.
You picked them up.
Yeah, because they were on this, and I didn't want. I'm going to drive like again today, and
Okay,
I
you
thought
didn't
that
want to run them over.
yeah, I
Wanted to
wanted them to
save the
live.
bees.
Yeah, so I picked them.
Do you know what is a really bad feeling when you accidentally step on a snail and you can just hear the crunch and you're like, oh no, I've just probably
Yeah,
killed
that's horrible. That's
an
horrible.
innocent being.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah, we have quite
Yeah.
a few slugs and snails in our garden. So at night time when we go in there, it's crunching season.
Oh no! Oh no!
I always think about that when I pick up like a bug and I move it somewhere. Think about how small a bug is and how like big a garden is. If I just take this like snail or like a little bug and I move it to the other side of the garden, I've basically just like
It's
moved
like
it.
teleportation.
Yeah, I've like moved it the other side of like the world. It's like if someone picked me up and put me in South Africa or something. It's crazy. Okay. Anything else to add about working from home, Anna? I
Not
think
from
we've
the top
covered
of my
most
head.
of it.
Yeah, I think we did.
Do we have
Probably we
some?
missed a lot, but
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for listening to that episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
bye bye.